Happy Friday. Welcome to Finance Friday with Nova Wealth Management, Amy and Jim Novakovich, where we try to save and protect your money and help you grow it to your full potential. Follow us on Twitter at Nova Wealth Management, MGMT, it's abbreviated. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're just starting to build YouTube subscribers there, so we're going to have more 90-second videos, quick tips. It's more of a quick tip to a place to go. And then follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook. Share this video if you think it's valuable to anyone. So I know if you've ever been in business, what already?
Before we get started, we've posted some videos and I was thinking it might be fun to talk about the LA trip.
Okay. Sure.
See, it's so funny, like she always, like before we started, she's like,
I'm prepared.
do you want to look at the list of what we're going to talk about today? I said, no, I don't.
That's not the hair. I know.
What?
Hope's going to be very upset. She did my hair this morning.
Oh, she
and
did.
said, it's going to look so nice for your business, Mommy.
Yeah, I can't believe you posted that photo.
I know. Jim was like, you might want to take that photo down. Hey, RT.
Yeah, I didn't
And I was like,
was
why?
great.
Whatever.
No, but...
So you want to talk about LA?
Yeah, don't you... I mean, just... I don't want to spend the whole half hour on it or 20 minutes on it, but...
talk about it.
Well, don't you think people want to know what Matthew McConaughey was like?
Sure. Go ahead. Okay, yes, Megan wants to know. Yes, go ahead.
Well, I thought he was like the coolest guy ever.
He was super cool. He introduced himself to us.
Yeah, we
He's
walked...
like, hi, Matthew. It's like, oh, no kidding, I did not know. My chair is way lower than yours. There we go. Oh, much better.
Oh, I like you down there.
No,
You should get lower.
So, what else do you want to say about LA?
All right, then we don't have to talk about LA. I thought...
Jim, I'm telling you to tell them about it. Holy cow.
I don't know.
And Ashton. Ashton was surprisingly serious. So in his talks, he talked more in a serious tone. You know, like everybody expects him to be goofy. Like, you know.
Yeah, I don't even know if he smiled once.
He really didn't. He looked very tired and serious.
Yeah. Well, he did say, actually, Ashton said, when he sat down, he said, he's like, this is my Saturday, because it was on a Saturday, and he's like, I normally don't I don't do anything on Saturday. That's like family day. And but he said his kids were napping.
He timed it around his kids napping. And somebody in the audience asked him what's the best thing he ever did, and he said marrying his wife.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was his answer. But he talked more about... He actually told a really cool story about how he started in acting. He said that, well, in modeling, actually. I think those of you that know him know he's in modeling. So he actually started...
Well, he was in modeling. That's how he started.
Jim looks quite dapper. Thanks, Andy. I know. He's mine. Andy.
Thanks, Andy.
Yes. But he actually started in modeling, and he lived so far away that we're talking about Ashton Kutcher, for those of you that are joining. We're talking about our City Gala LA trip, first of all. Shout out to Ryan Long running City Gala because it was an amazing event.
Yeah, he did a great job.
It was a really great event. But anyway, so Ashton said that his modeling agency was like 4 miles away, but he didn't have a car and he didn't have a way to get there. So he would walk and just sit in their lobby on the couches, and they would come out and be like, Ashton, you weren't called today. And he's like, I know, but if you call me, I'm here. Because he's like, this is my only job. I have nowhere to go.
So he'd sit there all day long, 8 to 5 every day, Monday through Friday. And he said eventually they're like, all right, let's just get the guy who's on the couch. Yeah. And they sent him to a job, and that's how he got started.
That's how he got started. He had, like, no money, and his parents would tell him to come home, and he's like, no. So it was pretty cool. So he was very humble. They were both very humble, very good speakers.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of speakers there. We got to meet Brian Smith, and we'll actually be putting the interviews. I got to interview them on the red carpet on our podcast, The Nova Wealth Show, and it's on iTunes. So the next few weeks, be watching out for that, because we're going to post our interviews. But I got to meet Brian Smith from UGG, founder of UGG Boots, and he's from the UK, so he has that wonderful accent. He's a really nice guy. And then founder of Priceline, Jeff Hoffman, co-founder of Priceline, Jeff Hoffman.
How was he?
Author. He was really great, too. Super humble, really great advice. You know, you've seen him speak before. We saw him at Digital Footprint. He was a really great speaker, too. Andy said the reflection of your head is distracting. Well, Andy, don't you share the same haircut? I'm pretty sure.
I'm looking for something.
I didn't get any free boots. No, he sold the company, Megan. So that's another reason why he was really awesome to talk to, is because he actually sold that company and sold that business. So he's been through the whole cycle. He's a really great guy. And then the author of Jack Canfield's Chicken Soup for the Soul.
He was good.
He was really good too.
Oh, he did a really cool thing. Jack Canfield. I did it with the twins in the car.
Okay.
So
this didn't work for me, but
it worked for everyone else in the room, really. I think.
Okay.
So you know how you have these lines on your wrists, like right below your palm, you have those lines.
For those of you just joining, we're talking about LA, our trip to City Gala, where we met a lot of different business owners, and this was Jack Canfield, author of Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Yeah, super guy.
Yes.
So his whole talk was talking about how powerful your mind is and how you could literally control your universe with your mind.
Apparently, the length of your hands.
Yeah. So he said, line up those lines, roll your hands together, and put them up. Right. And some people have some hands are bigger than others, but mine happen to be the same. And he said, okay, now look at one hand and say, grow bigger, grow bigger, grow bigger, grow bigger.
5 times.
Just 5? That was it?
5 or 6.
I felt like it was a lot.
Grow bigger, grow bigger. We had a lot of jokes about
that. Yeah,
this.
it only works on hands. So RT, don't try this. So he said, stare at the hand and focus on that hand and say, grow bigger, grow bigger, grow bigger. And then do it again, and honest to God,
it got bigger.
It was bigger than my left hand.
Try it. Tell me if your hand gets bigger. Seriously.
It worked.
So line up your lines here and say grow bigger, like 5 or 6 times or whatever.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
And then do it again.
20 seconds.
And see if it's longer.
So anyway, it worked, and it worked for me. And then there was one other one too. If you want to hear about that one, we can.
Yes. Can we move on to the actual Finance Friday now? Jim wanted to talk about our LA trip to the event City Gala.
I just thought, because last week you were on with David Liskow.
And the week before we were live in LA.
Yeah, so we just, it's been a while since I've been on, so.
Okay. It has been a while since you've been on, because who did Oh, Erica! Erica and I did the live
Erica,
in LA.
then David.
Yes.
Then.
And before was Vegas. We were in Vegas the week before that.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay, so today.
But we're glad to be home.
Yes, we are
I'm so glad we don't have anything planned.
Yes. So, we know you've heard a lot of business advice, especially a lot of people, probably the bulk of people that watch this are either subcontractors and run their own business, or just in general have one business that they run, or have multiple businesses. In some way or shape or form, a lot of you are entrepreneurs. And I know whether it's from a book, or a person, or online, or a coach, you've gotten business advice.
RT says it worked in the other places too.
Oh my goodness. This is...
Sorry.
Okay. That's...
You knew that was coming.
I knew, especially from RTO.
Very funny.
I was waiting. So, I know you've gotten business advice, but what we've seen so many different types of businesses. Not only business owners that we have worked with, and not only in our own business, but clients of ours that we have worked with. So many different types of business, from selling product to giving a service to being in business for 1 year to being in business for 30 years. So we have seen all different types of businesses, and so we're going to go over 5 mistakes today that can make or break your business. So it's the 5 financial mistakes that you don't want to make in business that we have seen that literally can make or break companies.
And we're going to go through these quickly because we're already 10 minutes in.
Okay, well, somebody wanted to chat about...
All right, well, I'm just saying, we don't need to beat the dead horse. Let's get to it.
And Jim doesn't know necessarily the specific order what these are going in, because he refused to prepare with me before, so...
I don't like to rehearse.
Okay, we're going to see how this goes.
Let's see how it goes.
Okay, so... the first one is something that actually we did in our business, and Jackie, I would love your comments on this. Jackie from Reframed PR, she's amazing, by the way. We've given her a shout out on like 3 of our Finance Fridays. We use her; she's amazing.
She is great.
But Jackie, so spending marketing money to build your brand versus finding out what your brand is and then using that to market. We spent so much in the beginning spending marketing dollars to create a brand. You know, so you put your marketing out there, you just get your name in all these places, and you're spending tens of thousands of dollars sometimes to build your brand. When in reality, you have to sit back and realize what your brand is, what is it that you want to market, and who you market to. You can't just spend your way into a brand. So we've seen so many businesses waste money, do so many bad things with marketing dollars. Again, Jackie and Solomon can definitely attest to this. Spend so much money with bad marketing dollars, money down the drain trying to build your brand, when you really just need to sit down, determine what your brand is, determine who you're selling to, and what value you add. So we're talking about 5 business mistakes, 5 financial big business mistakes that can make or break you for those of you that just joined. So the first one is spending marketing dollars to build your brand versus assessing your brand, who you want to market to, and then spending the money to market that brand. Okay. So the second one is, ready? Am I going fast enough for you, honey? Assess value. Perfect. Oh, preach. Sorry. I think I'm starting to need reading glasses. I'm getting to that age. I thought it said perfect and she said preach. Okay, anyway. Assess value, and we have a few stories on this. Assess value on what you want to do, anything you want to do, whether it's an expansion, whether it's hiring an employee, whether it's a piece of machinery, I don't care what it is, before you actually make the investment. Can you think of any stories right now that we've seen? A lot. On not assessing the value, just thinking it's a good idea and saying, oh, how can this fail? This is kind of a no-brainer. Instead of, and when I say assess value, I mean literally say, how many clients do I need to pay back this investment, and when am I profitable, and how much in increased profit is this investment going to make me?
For example, there's a couple stories, but I could think of one.
I want a pen, please. You took both. Do you see 2 pens over there? Thank you.
So I was, for whatever reason, I just want a membership to. Where we live, we're not in a community, so we don't have like a club or a membership place that we can go to entertain clients. I mean, we can go to dinner anywhere, really, but
or just socialize and talk to clients. Not that we could with 4 children, but that's good.
Yeah. So I've been saying for years that I want to get a membership.
Nice to see Andy the other day. Sorry.
Want to get a membership at La Playa, and we've been kicking that around for a couple of years.
2 years.
And but. You know, when it comes down to it, we just can't really justify paying $80,000 for a club membership because my personality, I'm not salesy. I'm not going to go try to sell somebody.
Well, and you're not going to go down and just randomly sit down and start talking to somebody. Like, you just don't have, like, that aggressive personality.
So we had to look at it and say, does it make sense business-wise? It'd be nice to have a membership there, and we can take the kids.
So it makes sense, and it works for a lot of business owners out there, especially down here, to just have a membership at a club, and that's how they gain clients. And that totally works, and it makes perfect sense. But you have to sit down and assess that value for your business, because otherwise you'll just waste money if it's not going to work for you and your business.
So really, this tip is, work the numbers and see, okay, how many clients do you need to make up the upfront fee, the annual fees, and are you actually going to go? Like in our case, like we have 2 little kids and 2 older kids, and we don't have a social life really. I mean, we really, there's no time.
Megan can attest to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't. There is no time. So we're talking about 5 business financial tips that can make or break your business. The first one we talked about is spending too many marketing dollars on trying to build your brand and create your brand versus sitting down and assessing your value and what you offer and who you want to market to, and then marketing your brand.
Well, going back to that one, I mean, it's okay to spend money on marketing, but to spend it in the right places.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, call a good marketing company like Jackie and Solomon, and sit down and really determine what is your brand, what value do you offer, and who do you want to market to.
Yeah, in our experience, like magazines. I mean, it's just not
for our business.
I guess in our business. So I guess, if you have a product and you're selling a product, putting out coupons and, different.
Gets attention.
Yeah, that might
selling
be a way
product
to do
is
it.
Different, no question.
A service business like ours, that kind of paper marketing just doesn't do anything.
But instead of really assessing that, all we did is just say, oh, this seems like a really great deal. We looked at the deal. We looked at the deal and said, oh, can this advertisement get out to 100,000 people? Oh, yes, it can. Oh, that must be a great deal. Here, there you go, $5,000.
They saw it, But then they just moved right
but
on.
We had no plan of, okay, what's the brand we're marketing and who are we targeting?
It's really crazy.
And it was just money wasted.
The money that we did spend on that stuff.
We were brand new in business. For those of you that may not know our story, we came from a bank that did all our marketing for us.
Yeah.
And skipped the whole middle channel of being like semi-independent and went completely independent. So, I mean, we've made a lot of mistakes. That's why I say the 5 business financial mistakes that we're going over are not only mistakes, some of them are what we have made in our own business, some are what we've seen clients make, and some are just mistakes we've seen from people that we've worked with in business that they have made. So we've seen it all, really. And the second one is assess your value before adding anything to your business. So before you add an employee, literally, I mean, we just hired somebody and we're so excited to bring him on. We're going to have him on a Finance Friday once it's official and we can announce it. But we sat down and you had spreadsheet after handwritten notes on what it takes for us to break even as a company, how many clients he has to bring on per month to make it profitable for both him and us. So it was literally, it's this analytical, and if you need help, call us. If you don't know how to do it, call us. You need to assess value before you make an investment in your business. Okay. So then the next one comes that kind of goes with the first two is don't, and this is going to be contradicted by some business coaches out there. I wish Erica Kastner was on because I would love her opinion on this, and maybe I'll get her to comment on it. But committing to expenses that you can't afford. So we do financial planning, right? So we'll project out like 5 years, how this affects your business and your net worth. 10 years, how this affects your business and your net worth. So when you commit to expenses you can't afford, we're looking at the numbers not only in 1 year from now, but in the future, 5 and 10 years from now. And for those of you that don't budget, it's really hard to know if you can afford it or not. And there's other business coaches out there that will say, like, if you don't go for it, if you don't put your money out there, if you don't take risk with your money, then you're never going to make it. And I get that mentality. And do you have any comments on this? Because you kind of look like you're in a blank stare right there. And I get that mentality. But coming from the finance side, I'm just telling you from the financial planner end, it would probably help you if you could at least first take the second tip and assess the value and project out if that's going to be profitable for you or not, rather than just saying, I got to take this risk and this sounds great and going for it. That's great. But if you can just take one step further and get specific with yourself, assess the value and project out if you can actually afford it, how many clients you need to be able to afford it. I sat down with a client that does, and actually Tamara went with me, interior organizing, organization, and she's awesome at it. And she's trying to assess A, if she should hire somebody, and B, if she was pregnant, if she had the ability to stay at home and work from home and take on less clients. And she couldn't get it in her head. We had her QuickBooks pulled open, and all we had to do was back into it, say how many clients you need to make the amount that you are paying this employee, and all of a sudden it clarified for her, oh my gosh, wow, that is a no-brainer. I can afford to hire somebody, which would give me the ability to stay home. I can afford this. And instantly she felt better about making that expense and how much she could pay the employee. So that's a huge success story that you have to be able to afford the expense. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep, well said. Let's move on.
Jim's really, I can't shut him up today. Still grieving from losing your best full-time investment. I absolutely am. I'm really in trouble about that. So for those of you that are just joining, we've had a lot of people join on the highs. I see it goes up and goes down. So for those of you that probably just joined, we're going over the 5 financial mistakes that you can't afford to make that can make or break your business. That's incredibly rude. When you look at your watch, it just drives me crazy. The first one was spending marketing dollars to create your brand versus having a brand and then using the marketing dollars to get that brand out there to who you want to get it to. What did Jackie just say? Marketing spending tip. Okay. Always have an ROI expectation attached to your marketing dollars. No expectation, no results. That's awesome. Thank you for that, Jackie.
Yeah, you got to know what you're shooting for.
You got to know what you're shooting for. And then assessing value before you add anything, whether it's an expansion, an employee, or machinery, whatever it is. And then committing to expenses that you can't afford, guys. I mean, again, taking the risk is a great mentality, but at least sit down and assess the value and see if you can afford it out 1 year, out 2 years, and out 5 years. What do you need to get to break even on that? Okay, next one. And we did this one too. For the longest time, we fought it. Don't become comfortable in your business. You've got to evolve. Everybody just saw that Toys R Us went under and is closing every one of their stores. They were going to try and see if they could keep 200 stores open, right? But now they're closing every one of their stores in bankruptcy. They didn't evolve to the online. They thought that everybody was going to want to come in and physically touch. I actually read something, or maybe I heard it on a call. They thought that kids, it's the experience of going in a Toys R Us.
Well, I'd agree.
So they didn't think that they would really go away. They didn't think that Toys R Us would need to do as much online because it's an experience for kids to go in Toys R Us. And they thought they had that over the online.
I don't think it was just online, though, because we just saw something where only 8% of purchases are made online.
Well, that was as of 2016.
I think,
end of 2016.
I think Target and Walmart just are cheaper, and they have all the same toys that Toys R Us has.
That's true.
They're just more expensive.
That's part of it too.
And
so my point is, though,
in as many locations.
Well, and so you have to adjust cost structure. So either way, you have to evolve. If you're not going to evolve and you're going to be stuck in your business ways and be stubborn, we for so long fought social media. It's so funny that we're on social media now doing lives. We were told by a media coach, you have to get on social media and tell people your story and give your advice if you want to educate. Because I like to educate, and I'm like, I want to, oops, low battery. I want to educate and do more of these education. And they're like, you need a social media following. You have to get on social media and do it. And we finally did it. And I'm so happy we did because we've now met so many people through social media. So anyway, you have to evolve. You can't get comfortable or you're just going to waste money in the wrong places, which we have seen with many business owners. Actually, recently I saw it with a hairdresser client. So a client that has a business, that she's a subcontractor and she rents a chair, and she has a really successful, actually, hairdressing business. And she didn't want to use marketing either. She's like, I just get referrals from my clients and didn't want to use marketing. And I told her, I'm like, that's great, and I'm so happy for your business, but I really feel like the way of the world, that the way everything is going is social media and online and marketing, and people are quickly responding to ads on their phone, and if you don't keep up with that and your competition is, you're going to suffer longer term. So you have to evolve or it will be a giant financial mistake. It is sad day they are a part of childhood experience from us old school peeps. Old school peeps, yes, and we were old school. Okay, last one. Don't be vague in what value you offer. Define it in dollars. So I have an awesome example for this, and you were at home when the guy said this to us. So I was pregnant. I was like, when we bought that water system is where I'm going. We bought one of those giant water filtration systems that they attach to your house. You know what I'm talking about? And I was like 9 months pregnant with Culligan. Hope or Ben? Somebody. I think it was Ben. And he says to me, to the dollars, he had it on paper, to the dollars, do you know how much a water filtration system saves you on like soap per year? And he had it written down, like, okay, so if soap costs you...
He completely made that up.
$3, you know, and you buy, you buy the organic stuff, the natural stuff. Okay, so that's $5 per thing. And how often do you think you build that, Mrs. Novakovich? Or you buy that, Mrs. Novakovich? And I say, probably, I don't know, once a month, maybe. Okay, monthly. So we're going to save you this much on dish soap. And then laundry soap. How much is your laundry soap? And how quickly do you go through that? And he literally put down on paper how much I would freaking save on soap. And then calculated it just in soap alone, how I would make my money back on...
It was probably all bullshit, but...
And I was like, so, we bought the water system. Like, when you put dollars to what you offer, even something as crazy as that, find a way to put dollars on what value you offer people. You know, like, I don't know if you can think of an example. That was my example. But when somebody sells you on dollars, which you get sold stuff, did somebody put a dollar value on your dietitian?
No. No. You
just got sold on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim.
Yeah,
Jim
I'm fairly easily sold.
Okay, well, I'm not.
Not so much.
No.
Depends on if I want it or not. If I want it, I'll buy it.
Okay, but you have to know. You have to know what value is offered to you. So they must have sold you on some sort of value. Like, be specific in what you offer. And I think if you put numbers to it, that you can really be more successful in that when you're specific on numbers and what you offer people, because I know that me as a finance person, when I see that in a person's business plan too, if you're trying to pitch somebody and you have an investment deck, you have a new product or something, for example, as many numbers as possible, be as specific as possible. Don't be vague in the value that you offer. Okay, so let's review. Okay, so 5 business mistakes, financial business mistakes that people have made that can make or break your business. Spending marketing money to build your brand instead of building your brand first and then knowing who you want to market and marketing your brand. Don't use marketing to create your brand. Have your brand and then market it. Assess your value before you do anything. Expansion, buying new machinery, hiring an employee. Assess the value. And if you need help, please call us before you do that and make that investment. And that bleeds into the next one. Don't commit to expenses you can't afford, and the way you know if you can afford it is break it down by how long it will take you to break even, by the amount of clients, how many people will you need to buy your product, how many clients will you need to generate and break even. Now, number 4, don't become comfortable in just your normal everyday routine. Hey Ed, actually, he's a great one to talk to because he creates musical images for companies, and he was the one that told us print wouldn't work for our business. Mm-hmm. So like there's certain things going back to the marketing. Hey Johnny, how are you? There's certain things going back to the marketing one that when you're spending money to just create your brand, you have to know what your brand is to know where you should put your marketing dollars. And that was one thing. Just landed. Nice. So the 4th one is don't become comfortable in your business, evolve. Always keep up with the times. You have to evolve or it will cost you money. You'll spend money in the wrong places. And finally, don't be vague in what you offer. Assess your value. Not assess your value. Be specific in your value. What you offer people. And I gave the example of a Culligan guy selling me on his water system because he told me how much in soap he's going to save me. As specific as you can be in what value you offer people are the more successful business owners that I see. Besides that, you want to go back to talking about LA?
No, I want to get out of here.
Okay.
So
I will post the 5 things. I actually already started YouTube videos. I did one 90-second little YouTube video. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and break it out into 90 seconds each. But definitely get your numbers down on paper, and if you need help, call us, novawealthmanagement.com, and share this video if you can, if you think it is valuable to somebody you know, entrepreneurs and business owners. Have an awesome weekend. Thanks for joining, and we will be here next week. Thanks so much.